Hi, how are you? How you doing? It's been a while, at least for me, in terms of if you've been following this. If you're looking at this several years from now, you're probably watching everything in all go. That's the nadir of technology. But yeah, it's been this video. Last time I did task. This is task 44. So task 43 was a couple weeks ago. I produced that, and we want to build on that today. So we're going to look at forming and solving linear equations. And let's not forget how we get started, how things go. The first thing you want to do is get a date down, get a title, forming, or just put linear equations. And more importantly, task 44, your task reference. I have 44A here. I'm thinking, I don't actually know why I have that A. No, we're not doing a 44B. I don't have plans to do a 44B at the moment anyway. But task 44, task 44A, and to bat, just in case you forgot, to bat means to be able to be able to. So to be able to form and solve linear equations, that's all focus. We'll focus on visuals first, situations where we have diagrams, and then we'll look at some situations where we have a word problem and we need to write some algebra to solve that word problem. That's pretty much the common ones that come up. Some key facts you will need to know. And I put E1. These are examples, but you might want to just have a go get stuck in. Remember, use the power of the pause. But I will do these. That's the intention of them being examples. And the first thing for question number 1 for you to recall is that the angles on a straight line, they add up to, thank you very much, 180 degrees. So in terms of finding the value of x, in terms of solving the equation, I'll form the equation first. The equation is, well, x, some number, plus 110. When I add the two of them together, I should get 180. Once we have our equation, then it's going back to what we were doing previously. And if you need to refresh your mind using, what is it, task 41, 42, that does put you in good position. I'm going to use the idea of change side, change sign. Or actually, I can use the idea of balancing, in which case I'm taking away 110 from both sides. Or the 110 positive on the left, it becomes minus 110 on the right. 180 take away 110, well, that is 70, so x is going to be 70. The missing value, the unknown, it's 70 degrees. For B, what do we know about the angles about a point? The angles about a point, they sum to 360 degrees. So that means sum. I use the word sum. I said sum to. Sum is the answer you get when you do addition. Yeah, you're on with things today. Brilliant. What it means is that the model we want in terms of forming and solving an equation here is that if we add all of these expressions up, all these angles represented by expressions, we have to get 360 degrees. So I can write that down. I can write 2x plus 50, that's the angle at the bottom, and then I add it to x take away 10, x minus 10, and then I add it to 170. And when I add all those values, I need to get 360 because it's the angles about a point. They have to add up to 360. After we've written down the expression, the next thing you want to be thinking about is to do what? Where we're going to go from here. That's what we're talking about. We simplify the expression on the left-hand side of the equation. So I got 2x and plus x. So you can see things coming together now. Simplifying is something we did early on. Now, the idea of collecting like terms, we need to do that to be able to solve the equation. 2x and x, that would give me 3x. And then in terms of the numbers, I'm going to add the numbers. Collecting like terms is what I'm doing. I have plus 50. Plus 170 take away 10. Plus 50 take away 10. Always considering the sign in front of the number. So take away 10. 50 take away 10 is 40. And then I have to add 170. That will give me 210. So 3x plus 210 degrees. That's what's giving me 360. Change side, change sign. So we need to take away 210. I can write that 3x is equal to 360 take away 210. 360 take away 210, well, that will give us 150. And you can smile now. If 3x is 150, then x is going to be 150 divided by 3, which is 50 degrees. So the answer to this question, oh, it's in the corner there, wasn't I? Let's just bring it up a little bit. Should I? Yeah. Hopefully you can see that clearly. And the idea, the answer is that x is 50 degrees. And in an exam condition, you want to check. Use the power of checking, doing the reverse. Because you don't want, this question might be at least 3 marks in an exam. You don't want to lose any of the marks, do you? Take the time and check. If I do a check here, I'm saying x is 50. 50 take away 10 will be 40. And then 2x, that will be 100 plus 50 is 150. And we can check, does it add up to 360? 150, 40, and 170. We can ignore the 0. 17 and 4 is 21, and 21 and 15 is 36. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 360 degrees. We're sorted. We are sorted. So you can see we can check, and we can have confidence on that matter, that we are right. We move on in the exam smiling, saying, yeah, I did it. I formed an equation and I solved it. That's the technique we're practicing here. I've gone through 2 examples that should see you through the key angle facts. The next set of questions, the key angle facts. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Angles about a point sum to 360 degrees. So if I add up, I need to be equal to 360. That's your model you're working with there. Now time for you to practice, where I start just giving answers. There's 2 here to try. Straight lines. What's the missing value? Pause. Use the power to pause and you work it out. Power the pause and you work it out. Okay. For part A, I'm not going to do part A. I am going to do part B. But for part A, you should have got x is equal to 88 degrees, because 88 plus 92 will give you 180, which is what it's supposed to add up to. For part B, let's just remind ourselves that all the angles on a straight line, and in this case we have 3 angles. When I add those 3 angles, what am I supposed to get? Exactly 180 degrees. So we can try that and just check x, the unknown angle. I don't know what it is. We're calling it x, plus 42 plus 40 is giving me 180 degrees. Change side, change sign. So I want to keep the x on the left-hand side. The numbers have to go on the right. So I have 180, take away 42, take away 40. That's actually the same thing as 180, take away 82. And that will give us 98, 170, 98 degrees, 170, 180, 98 degrees is the answer you should have had. And this is what your work should look like. That's the level of detail you want to be showing, telling your story. So even if you made a mistake in the calculation, you will still get credit in the exam for showing all you're working out. It's about showing what you know. That's what an exam is. It's an opportunity for you to show what you know. Go on, show lots. Let's do more. Let's do more of this. We now have 2 other questions. We've gone into the world of straight lines. Find the missing values. Don't worry about this slash here. This expression is x plus 10. So we know what's the key point, and I'll remind you, when I add up all the values in the circle, what should I get? 360. That's your magic number. Off you go. You pause. Use the power to pause and see how you get on with these, please. These, please. Right. I'm gonna pop up. And actually, no. I'll quickly write expressions just to make sure I don't write anything wrong. I do have the answers here. For the first one, you should have had 3x plus 40. Plus x plus 80. Yeah, 3x plus 40 plus x plus 80. Those are the 3 angles. And when I add up those 3 angles, I should get 360. And as you work through that, collecting like terms, I'm just going to form the equation and then give you the answer. The 3x plus x would have given you 4x. And the positive 40 plus the positive 80. 80 and 40 is 120. So 4x plus, that does not look good. 4x plus 120 is equal to 360. That is the problem that you are solving. And as you work through that, the value of x you should get would be 60 degrees, which, yeah, that makes sense for me for that formula. For the second one, part B, you would have had And I'll do this slightly differently. I won't write down the expression, but I'll do the addition. I have x plus 2x, which is 3x, and another x, 4x, and another one, 5x. So we have 5x, and then it's all, let me just make sure. Yes, it is all addition. So in terms of the numbers, we have 10 and 30, 40, and 30, 70. So 5x plus 70 is 360 degrees. That's the value you should be getting. And then on the basis of this, as you solve it, it becomes an equation you should be able to manage. You should get x is equal to 58. Whoa, I'm putting squared. What am I thinking? X is equal to 58 degrees is the answer I have. I believe that's what you should have. Form the equation, solve the equation. Let us proceed to some more. You have 2 more here. Sorry if I went by too fast there, but it's a video. You can just go back. Use the power of the pause. Try these 2, please. Thank you very much. If you'll be so kind, have a go at doing these 2, please. Thank you. You're done. You're done. You're feeling good about it. Add all the 3 angles. What should you get? 360 degrees. So as you work through this one, you should have got x. I'm seeing here x should be 110 degrees. X should be 110 degrees. You would have had, let's get the expression, x, I'll do it using pictures. Got to watch out for that minus sign, but x and x and x will give me 3x. And then it's plus 30 plus 10, which is 40. Take away 10. The 10s actually cancel out each other. So it's 3x plus 30 is 360 degrees. That's the equation you were working with. And yes, that will give you a value of x of 110 degrees. So that's good there. For D, ooh, how did you feel? I now looked at it. You got the, whoa, this is a nice one. Nice one. How did you feel doing this one? Have you managed it? I have to do this. This is fun. Adding all the values up together. I'll write this the long. No, I'm not going. Yes, I am. No, I'm not going to write it the long way. We have a positive 180, a positive 140, 180 and 140, and then a positive 120. So we're going to have a number ending in a 0. And I have 18 and 12, which will give me 30, 20, 30, and then 30 and 14 would give me 44. So 440, I've added up the numbers and put in the 0, 44. Take away x, take away x, take away x. How many x's are you taking away? That's right, 3x. So take away 3x has to give me 360 degrees. Now, this equation requires a bit more thought. We got to work on this a bit differently. What I would do in terms of change the side, change the sign, is the minus 3x will go over to the right and become 3x. And the 360 will go over to the left. So at the moment it's positive 360. With me? You can pause. You can finish it. Yeah, go on. Go on. You know you want to. Go on. Go on. All right, you ready? Let's see if what you did is what I did. 360, so I'm going to get take away 360. 440 take away 360. 440 take away 360 will give me 1. Now that will give me 80 degrees. Yeah, 80 degrees it is 3x. So x, in this particular case, x is going to be 80 on 3. And I would actually leave my answer as 80 on 3. There's no need to rewrite it in any other form. If you wanted to make this a mixed number, I would write it in as an answer. How many 3's are in 80? That 12, 20, 8 is, that's 2. So I'm just going to do 3. We're dividing 80 by 3. You see, it's hard work. Is it actually worth it? Because 80 on 3, you're going to get the marks. How many 8's are in how many 3's are in 8? That will be 2. Remainder 2. How many 3's are in 20? That will be 6. And the remainder 2 means that remainder 2. So 26 and 2 out of 3. 26 and 2/3 is the answer. If you wanted to convert to a mixed number, I will confirm, need to say this, is so important. 80 on 3 is 80 on 3. There's no need. Improper fractions are acceptable in your exam. Improper fractions are acceptable. You don't need to simplify unless it is. For example, if 80 was divisible by 3, then we would simplify. Don't leave, for example, if it was 4, don't leave 80 on 4, write 20. Okay. Then continuing. Now I have another diagram. This one is actually from a past exam paper talking about a parallelogram. Work out the value of x. So work out the value of x in this parallelogram. Okay. Now, what do we know? What do we know? And what do we know here is we know that when we add up all the angles in a parallelogram, we should get, 360 degrees. So that's the idea you can use here. Is there another idea you can use? Have you used another idea? Not going to say anything about that right now, but we could go with that. Now the reality is, actually no, I'm not gonna mention it, but I have to mention it. Look at what's happening here. Do I need to say more? I'll leave you to think about that. Let's just do what we're doing. We know that when we add all the angles, we're gonna get 360 degrees. Okay, so 3x take away 15 plus 2x plus 24 plus, and I need space, space, plus 24 plus 2x and 2x is 4x. When we add up all those x's and the numbers, we should get 360 degrees. 3x plus 2x, that's 5x, 5x and 4x is 9x. So in terms of the letters, I have 9x. In terms of the numbers, minus 15 plus 24. 24 take away 15 would give me 9. Are there any other numbers? No. So I get a positive 9 because it's a positive 24 take away 15. So positive 9, and that will give you 360 degrees. If that's the case, then 9 is going to be equal, to 360 take away 9, which is 351. So 9x is 351. We now want to work out what x would be. That's what the question was. And the answer to the question would be 351 on 9. How many 9s are in 3? None. Carry over to 3. How many 9s are in 35? That will be, I was going to put 7, but it's 27 is the number I'm thinking about. So I need a 3. 27, then there's 7 left. What am I doing? 9 to 27. No, what am I doing? I was just thinking 7 left. It's actually 8 left, isn't there? 27 and 3 will give you 30, and then 3 and 5 will give you 35. So 81, which is 9 squared. The answer is x is equal to 39. X is equal to 39 degrees. Now, having worked this hard on the question I have to ask you is, did he spot the relationship I was trying to give you? There's an easier way of doing this question if you know another angle fact about parallelograms. And let me just make a copy of this. We'll make a copy. We'll paste. This is going to be really useful for you in future, and you'll see how, boom, you could have sorted this out super fast. Yeah, you ready? Did you see it? I drew a line. Yeah, what did I do? Did you make that connection? If you did, feel really good now, because look at how much time you can save on that. I did this, if you remember. I did that. I joined up the 2x and the 2x. What was I trying to tell you? Well, yes, all the angles in a parallelogram add up to 360 degrees, but the other angle fact about a parallelogram is that opposite angles are equal. It's a parallelogram, so opposite angles are equal. So actually, to find x, there's nothing we can do here. We know 2x is 2x. That was the hint. But these expressions are different. So actually, to solve this problem, we could have done 3x take away 15 is equal to 2x plus 24. That's the equation we need to solve. Change side, change sign. I get 3x is not going anywhere. I'll get all the x's on one side. It's the plus 2x goes on to the left-hand side, which means it becomes minus 2x. And look at that. 3x take away 2x is x. So we're almost done already. And then what's happening? The positive 24, well, that's not going anywhere. We're not changing positive 24. Minus 15 on the left-hand side. As we move it to the right, it will have to become positive 15, and 15 and 24 gives you 39. So big fact there, if you weren't aware of it, opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. And if you took that approach, you could actually do this question a bit faster, potentially. Everybody's different, but you can see how there's more than one way to do the problem. Nice one. I like that. I like it. You like it? I like it a lot. Okay, right. Got a couple more. Here's another one to work out, and then we'll start looking at some word problems, if you'll be so kind to have a go at this one. Please, the triangle, the perimeter. Perimeter of shapes is very, very powerful. We looked at angles, now let's look at perimeter. Pause, off you go. Okay, I'm gonna go through now. You've had your chance. Part A is asking for the expression for the perimeter. No, can I say it says nothing here about in its simplest form. Part A just says write an expression in term, right? What is the perimeter in terms of x? It does not actually say to simplify. We do need to simplify in part for part B to answer the question, but for part A it's irrelevant. The perimeter is the distance all around, so I can say what I need to do is I need to add up all the sides. So I have x plus 3 plus x take away 2. And if we work through that, what do we have? We have x plus x, which gives you 3x, if you decided to simplify it. And then the positive 3 take away 2. 3 take away 2 is positive 1. Note what I'm saying for A, just to be absolutely clear, if you had x plus 3 plus x take away 2, you would get full marks. Now for part B, they said the triangle has a perimeter, and now they're asking to write an equation. Again, if I was to simply just write x plus 3 plus x take away 2 is equal to 22, that will be correct for part B1. You would get your full credit. That is an equation. Nobody said write an equation with the expression in the simplest form. Of course, to solve it, so you do need to simplify at some point. I'm just saying there's real benefit in these questions to write the long format. Don't try to do too much in your head. Write it the long way and then simplify. That way, even if you make a mistake simplifying, hopefully you've written it the long way, the right way, you'll still get credit for that. That's the point I want to get across there, really. To solve the equation, we need the simplest form of the terms. We need to collect like terms, which we did already. We had 3x plus 1. So now I can say 3x plus 1 is equal to 22. That implies that 3x, change side, is 21. Because what we're going to have is 22 take away 1, and then that means x is going to be 7. So the answer for this question, x is going to be 7. Now, note, let's just be careful. We haven't finished the question. I almost got caught there. Did you get caught with this? The question, part B2, says use your equation to find the length of each side of the triangle. Okay, let me just highlight that. The question is not asking you to find the value of x. It's saying find the length of each side of the triangle. I don't have space, so I'm going to do what you're actually allowed to do in the exam. And you can see we know x is 7, so that means that this side is 7 centimeters. This side down here, the bottom bit, is x take away 2, which will make it 5, and then x plus 3 will make this side 10. So those are your dimensions there. If you have space in your book, you can put it on your answer line, etc. But in an exam, another key point is if you put your values on the diagram, they will be considered positively. If you have to write stuff in the diagram, that will be sufficient for your answer mark. Okay, so that's that one there. We have that, and I almost got caught there with the finding just x and not the length of every side. Okay, I almost got caught. Hands up, almost got caught. Did you get caught? Right, let's go again. We have a couple word problems now. We're moving away from diagrams totally, and we got 3 more, and they're all going to be word problems. So what you want to do is read this word story and come up with an equation and solve it to answer the question. Pause, have a go. We haven't done any of these like this, but hopefully you get the idea of interpreting and following the idea of building the equation and then solving it. Right. Okay. You've had your moment. You use the power of the pause. If you didn't use the power of the pause, well, I'm still here. You're still here. You haven't done any work, and but we'll get there. We can get there together. I was thinking about this, and I'm thinking the word consecutive is what's going to be the issue here. Consecutive means one after each other. So, if the first number, suppose say x, if x is the lowest number, so the first number I have is x. Consecutive means one after the other. So, what's the next number? If I have x, what's going to be the number after x? We're thinking about whole numbers. That's what we're building here. Well, the number after x is going to be x plus 1. What's the number going to be after that? We have x plus 1. After that will be x plus 1 plus 1, which is x plus 2. And similarly, the fourth number will be x plus 2 plus 1. So x plus 3, and that means the expression for the when we add them together, so we're adding these consecutive numbers, it'll be x plus 1 plus x plus 2 plus x plus 3. And we know that has to give us 114. That's what we've been told. So we have an equation now to solve. X and x and x and x will give me 4x. And then 1, 2, I shouldn't squiggle it out, I'm not crossing it out. 1 and 2 and 4, that will give me plus 6, giving me 114. 4x plus 6 is 114. Taking away 6, you'll get to 108, which is going to be divisible by 4. So what this implies is I'm taking away 6 from both sides, or change side, change sign. We have 4x is equal to 108. And when you work that out, whatever method you choose, x is going to be 27. So the answer for number 5 is 27. Number 6. Hopefully this is an inspiration. If you haven't done 6 already, can you please, please, please do so? Have a go at number 6, please. Thank you very much. Lovely. I'm going to do number 6 now. He thinks of a number, and then we're telling this story piece by piece. He doubles it, then adds 5. So if I start, let me say my number is x. Doubling it means multiplying by 2. So what I'm going to have is 2x. That's how we'll write multiply by 2 in algebra. Some number multiplied by 2. Then he adds 5. So 2x plus 5 has to give me 17. That's the equation you're looking for. That equation... That's mathematics telling the story really, 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 really fast. And solving this one, should be an expert. You can pause and do it for yourself if you wish. Solving this one, we have 2x is going to be equal to 17. Take away 5, which means that 2x is equal to 17. Take away 5 to 12, sorry. And that means x is equal to 6. So your final answer for this question, you should go for where it says x equals 6. X equals 6. There's one very last question I'd like you to do. Off you go. Let's deal with this milk and fruit juice and buying pints of milk and fruit juice. See how you get on with this one. Don't forget, power the pause, power the pause. You're doing your pause, you're doing your work. Now it's my turn. Yay. Okay, so you've done the power pause and you've done the work, so I'm going to go through it now, and let's see if what I do is what you did. Right in terms of x, the cost of 2 pints. 1 pint is x, so 2 pints, I have to multiply by 2. The answer is going to be 2x. For B, the carton of fruit juice is 10p more than the cost of a pint. The cost of a pint is x. X is the cost of the pint. I have 10p more, so that means I need to add on 10. So x plus 10. What's really important is we're thinking about the units. We are working in the units of pence. That's really useful going forward. It means that for part C, that £1.70, we're going to have to model that as 170 to represent the pence. That's really important. Yeah, units have to be consistent. And now that we have that sorted out, we want to find 3 pints of milk. A pint of milk is x, so 3 pints of milk will be 3x. And then 2 cans of fruit juice. 1 fruit juice is x plus 10. How many fruit juices do I want? 2. So the entire x plus 10 brackets are required needs to be doubled. So 3x, plus 2x plus 10 in brackets. That is what's going to give you 170. That is the expression that you want to be solving. 3x plus 2x plus 10 is equal to 170. Interesting one, interesting one. I'm gonna need space to do that. This is the most serious one I've had all day. Remember, we're different. We're different. It's all good. It's all good. We have the 3x. The bracket is related to the positive 2x. I should put that in a different color. So the bracket is related to the positive 2x. Nothing to do with the 3x. So I can write the 3x as 3x and then expand the bracket. Expanding the bracket to 2 times x and then 2 times positive 10. 2 times x is going to be 2x, so we're going to add 2x, 2 times x, and then the 2 plus the 10, it is a positive 10. If this sign was negative, the game would be very different, but 2 times x and then plus 20 is going to give you 170. That's what we're looking at there. Now, if this is the case, hopefully you should see that we're almost home free. We get 5x when we collect the x's, and that is equal to 170, take away 20, change side, change sign. So the plus 20 went on the other side to become minus 20. 170 minus 20 is 150. So what we have is 5x is 150, which means that x is equal to 150 divided by 5, which is equal to 30. So the answer, how much is the cost of a pint of milk? 30p. We've been working using the same units throughout. That was really important. If we did the 1.7 and not 170p, then the 10, adding 10 won't be valid, because the adding 10 was based on us working in pence. We're going to get the value of x in pence. Right. I trust you found that useful. We're going to stop there. Hope you did as much practice as possible. That's really, really important. Even if you're getting the solutions from me after, you got to check and double check and triple check for yourself. You're preparing yourself. Yes, it's twofold. It's the GCSE world here in the UK. You're preparing yourself for the bigger world out there, but you're also preparing yourself for your exam. That's what comes first. So technique, units, very important.